Chapter 2. Forgotten Questions. Rediscovering the forgotten questions. Every human begins life with questions. A child does not wait to be told what to ask. They ask freely. About the sky, silence, people, emotions, and things that adults no longer pause to notice. There is something fearless in that stage of life. No fear of judgment. No concern about being wrong. Only curiosity. Alive and unfiltered, but slowly, without any clear moment, something begins to change. We begin to ask less. Not because questions disappear, but because we begin to feel that they do not belong everywhere. Curiosity fades quietly, not suddenly. The pressure to accept instead of question. As we grow, we begin to learn something subtle but powerful. Acceptance feels safer than questioning. Not because questioning is wrong, but because it makes us visible. I remember sitting in class, holding a simple question in my mind. It wasn't complex. It wasn't challenging. It was just honest. But I looked around. No one else was asking. And in that moment, something inside me hesitated. Not my curiosity, my courage. So I stayed silent. And what I remember is not the question I lost, but the part of myself that slowly learned, it is better to fit in than to stand out. That was not the last time. It never is. The first question we silence is rarely the last. The role of distractions. Distraction is not just noise. It is an escape we don't always realize we are choosing. There were moments when I picked up my phone, not because I needed something, but because I didn't want to feel something. A slight discomfort, a quiet emptiness, a thought I didn't want to face. So I scrolled, and for a while, it worked. But when I stopped, everything I avoided was still there. Just heavier. Distraction doesn't remove questions, it delays them. And the longer they are delayed, the harder they become to face. What we avoid does not disappear, it waits. Fear of uncertainty. We often say we want truth, but what we really want is certainty. Because truth begins with not knowing, and not knowing feels unstable. I have noticed this in myself, how quickly the mind reaches for familiar answers, just to feel safe again, even if those answers are shallow, even if they are not fully true, because uncertainty creates space, and space can feel uncomfortable, so we fill it, not with understanding, but with conclusions. We rush to answers, not because they are true, but because they are comfortable. Social conditioning and silent identity. No one forces us into a single way of thinking. It happens quietly, through repetition, through approval, through what is rewarded and what is ignored. Over time, we stop asking, "What do I truly want?" And we start asking, "What is expected of me?" I remember chasing achievement, believing it would complete something inside me, and for a moment, it did, but only on the surface. Because the question was never, "Can I achieve this?" The real question was, "Why does this matter to me?" And I had never answered that. A life built on expectations may look complete, but feel empty. The quiet loss of curiosity. The loss of curiosity does not feel like loss. It feels like growth, like maturity, like understanding. But one day, you notice something unsettling. You are no longer searching. Not because you have found answers, but because you have stopped asking. And in that moment, you realize, you didn't lose your curiosity in one decision. You lost it in many small silences. We don't stop questioning all at once. We stop one honest moment at a time. A gentle reflection. This is not about blaming society, education, or technology. It is about noticing how easily a questioning mind can become quiet. Because the loss of questions is not a failure of intelligence, it is a slow result of pressure, fear, distraction, and adaptation, working together over time. And once we understand this, something important becomes clear. Questions do not disappear. They are only pushed deeper inside us, waiting for a moment of awareness to return. What is buried is not gone. It is waiting. Ending transition. If questions can be buried, then they can also be found again. But first, we must understand something deeper. What awareness truly is, and how it begins within us. If something in this chapter spoke to you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to share it with someone who might need it.